again, based on your review and your experience, training, et cetera. How does autism affect Brendan?
His plan was very comprehensive. I will say what stood out to me was the very clearly articulated list of triggers, things that were known to be troublesome, that were known to cause him to escalate, that were known to be, if he was spoken to in a certain way, that was known to cause aggression. The fact that multiple times in multiple conference notes, documentation, IEP, and the behavior plans, it said, do not correct him in front of other students. Choosing your words, offering him basically not, and I don't use the word confront, but essentially being very cautious about how you're interacting with that student, not reacting. So often when students who have behavioral difficulty are reacting, what as a teacher and as a paraprofessional, and what a behavior analyst will tell you, you have to ignore, you have to stay very calm, very cool. There was a lot of documentation in his records that was saying those same things over and over again about being cautious, about how he was spoken to, and the circumstances under which anybody would give him a directive.
In 2023, a shocking and tragic incident occurred at a Florida school when 17-year-old Brendan Depa violently attacked 59-year-old teacher's aide, Joan Naydich. The assault left Naydich with severe injuries and had far-reaching consequences on her life, including the loss of her job, financial security, and health insurance. Depa, a student with a troubled past, confronted Naydich in the hallway of the school. Without any provocation, he launched a brutal attack on her, knocking her to the ground and repeatedly striking her. The severity of the assault left Naydich with broken ribs, a concussion, and permanent hearing loss. Moreover, she suffered significant cognitive impairment, which further complicated her recovery and her ability to return to work. The impact of the attack on Naydich's life was profound. Having worked as a teacher's aide for nearly 19 years, she was suddenly thrust into a situation where she could no longer perform her duties. The physical injuries she sustained were debilitating, but the emotional and psychological trauma she experienced was equally devastating. Naydich described her ordeal to the court, highlighting the extensive losses she endured because of Depa's actions. Brendan Depa's actions that day caused me to lose a job that I had for almost 19 years, lose my financial security, lose my health insurance, Naydich said. Her testimony painted a vivid picture of the turmoil and hardship she faced in the wake of the attack. The stability and sense of purpose she had derived from her long-standing position at the school were abruptly taken from her, leaving her to navigate an uncertain future. The legal proceedings against Depa were closely watched as the community sought justice for the grievous harm inflicted on Naydich.
Brendan be sent to prison. Do you believe that is the optimal environment for Brendan?
I do not.
Why? Will he receive the treatment he needs?
I do not believe he will receive the treatment he needs, and the things that are happening in Brendan's behavior, incarcerating him, is not going to change the factors that precipitate that behavior. He needs therapeutic intervention, and he needs to be provided with mental health treatment. There are several things that need to happen that will not happen in a prison setting. He needs cognitive behavioral therapy. He needs, I think, psychodynamic therapy would be helpful, ongoing counseling. There are many things I think would be very helpful and would assist him in improving his behavior.
There's multiple layers to this, it sounds like.
Yes.
You heard that there's the testimony about some sort of apparatus in place in the Department of Corrections.
In October, Depa initially pleaded no contest to the charges of aggravated battery. However, his sentencing was postponed to allow the court to gather additional testimonies and consider the full extent of Naydich's injuries and the impact on her life. Ultimately, the court sentenced Brendan Depa to 5 years in a Florida state prison. This sentence reflected the severity of the crime and the need to hold Depa accountable for his violent actions. The judge acknowledged the profound and lasting damage inflicted on Naydich and emphasized the importance of justice in addressing such a grievous assault. Naydich's story resonated with many, shedding light on the vulnerabilities faced by educators and school staff. Her dedication to her job and the students she served was evident, making the attack all the more senseless and tragic. The incident prompted discussions about the safety of school environments and the need for better measures to protect staff and students alike. As Naydich continued her recovery, she faced the daunting task of rebuilding her life. The physical and cognitive challenges she encountered were compounded by the financial strain of losing her job and health insurance.
And based on your review of the records and the descriptions therein about how these events unfolded, were strategies employed, were triggers recognized?
It does not appear
Despite
so
these
to me.
hardships, Naydich's resilience and determination remained evident as she sought to regain a sense of normalcy and stability. The community rallied around Naydich, offering support and assistance in various forms. Fundraisers were organized to help alleviate some of the financial burdens she faced, and her story inspired many to advocate for greater protections for school staff. The incident served as a stark reminder of the need for vigilance and proactive measures to ensure the safety and well-being of those working in educational settings. In the aftermath of the attack, the school where Naydich worked implemented additional safety protocols and support systems for staff. The goal was to prevent such incidents from occurring in the future and to provide a safer environment for both educators and students. The lessons learned from this tragic event underscored the importance of fostering a culture of respect, safety, and support within educational institutions. Joan Naydich's journey of recovery and resilience continued to inspire those who heard her story. Despite the significant challenges she faced, her courage and determination to overcome adversity stood as a testament to the human spirit's strength. The attack may have taken much from her, but it also revealed the depth of her character and the unwavering support of her community.
I think the deepest impact for Brendan has been he has a lot of anxiety. I know he has a co-occurring diagnosis related to that, but I think there's a lot of anxiety with changes. There's a lot of anxiety related to when the routine is not followed. He has a lot of social difficulty. He has currently, outside of the people that have spoken in this room today, he doesn't have friends. He reported to me he wants to have friends, that he has always struggled with making friends. He struggled with socially understanding the kinds of behaviors that he needs to fit in and interact with others. I think that he has very significant theory of mind deficits, essentially understanding the perspectives of others. I think he